Yes, welcome back to Poetry and Police. As you all know, my name is Yvonne Blake, ex-detective corporal of police. Served the Jamaica Constabulary Force for many years, so that makes me a very experienced police officer. Uh, before I before I say anything, I must first say Merry Christmas to my subscribers. Merry Christmas to the citizens of Jamaica. Merry Christmas to all the members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, Jamaica Defense Force, teachers, nurses, firemen, correctional officers, all civil servants. Enough respect. I know you are in Jamaica tiling on a daily basis for a worthless pension, a worthless salary. As far as I am concerned, no government worker seem to be paid the right amount on a monthly basis. They seem to treat government workers the worst. So like I said, Merry Christmas to all my subscribers. I wish you all the best for the new year. More blessing for you and your family and friends. Now, today what I want to talk about is a scenario. Just explain to you like how police system works and how some police officers work. And as police officers, and as a former detective, sometimes you have to dig into a situation and you have to make the best decision in a situation. As a matter of fact, make the logical decision or make the lawful decision in every given situation. As a policeman, people are expecting us to always make the right decision. Because let me tell you something. If somebody is walking, say, downtown Kingston, a stranger, does not know downtown Kingston, and they ask a regular civilian on the street, where can I find the National Commercial Bank on King Street? Or the Scotia Bank on King Street? And if that person does not know, then it's nothing. But if you ask a police officer in uniform, especially in uniform, where can I find NCB Bank or Scotia Bank on King Street? And the policeman does not know, then they will cry, wow, shame and disgrace. Big policeman and you don't know if you find the bank, the Scotia Bank on King Street. People will say that because as police officers, we are expected to be a cut above the rest. We are expected to set examples for the people in Jamaica. We are supposed to be the most law-abiding citizens in Jamaica. As police officers, we are not above the law, and as such, we are supposed to abide by the law. But in practicing policing on a daily basis, we have to look into every situation and make the best decision, and we have to know the law, and we have to know how to operate. It is said that a policeman who has no knowledge of his profession is a danger to himself and the organization. And I believe so. Because from time to time, I have seen where policemen who have no knowledge of their profession has done drastic, has taken drastic action against members of the Jamaican citizenship and put themselves in position to be sued, or government or the Attorney General to be sued. And that could have been avoided if only they had known their job. Now, this is a scenario I have to explain to you. And from that happened, I have been thinking about it from a day-to-day basis. It has never left my mind. And I want to share with you. And I just want to hear your opinion about the whole situation. What you think should have been done in the situation and what you think about the whole situation. Now, I knew some businessmen in Jamaica back when I was in Jamaica. Licensed firearm holders. So that's why I will not mention their names because they are licensed firearm holders for the protection of themselves and their families. I hope you understand. All right. So these men buy and sell cars. And somebody happened to sell them a car on one particular day. After the car was sold to them, they made checks and they found out that the car, they had some inkling that the car was stolen based off a certain investigation that was carried out. So they did the right thing. They went to the Halfway Tree police station and they reported to a detective that this car, it seems as if it is stolen. It was stolen, that was sold to them. The detective carried out their initial investigation and it was proven that yes, this car is actually a stolen car. What people in Jamaica would call it a hot car. The chassis number was tampered with and documents were fraudulently obtained for this car. So we are looking at not even just, it may be a robbed car or a stolen car, but we are also looking at fraud from various documents from tax offices and fitness and all of those things. So the report was made to the Harford police station, to a detective. One day, these men were traveling somewhere in the Spanish Town area, and they happened to see the suspect who had sold them the stolen car. And Marky, before I go any further, I will say that a warrant was taken out for the suspect. There was a warrant issued by the Hertfordshire CIB for this man to be arrested for the car that he has sold to these businessmen, these law-abiding citizens who were in possession of licensed firearms. Now, the men saw this man driving a car and they started to follow the motor vehicle. They called police control or the emergency line, 911, whatever, and informed control that the man who had stolen them a stolen car, you know the story already, is seen and they're traveling behind a car, registration plate, whatever, that this man was also driving. Control informed them that do not try to intercept this man, just follow, and then we will send a unit to accost this man, intercept and accost this man. Who, Marky, I said this man was wanted and warrant. Now, when the men were following this man, he went somewhere in Spanish Town region and went up into this neighborhood. And it would appear as if to the businessmen that this man would have observed that the car was following him, because, you know, they are lay people. They're just businessmen. They are not police officers. They do not know the skills or possess the skill to know how to follow a car properly, so they are not made. So obviously it would appear as if they were made by the suspect. Now, the suspect tried to evade, try to evade. They realized that the suspect were driving evasively, trying to lose them. So they went in pursuit. Remember, they pursued the car without the police because the police took so long to come. There was no unit close by to assist the men. It happened that it was a car chase. They were following him. The man drove into a dead-end lane and jumped out of the car, and the men jumped out in a bid to accost the man. Remember, they are not police officers, but it is completely legal for a citizen of Jamaica to effect what is called a citizen's arrest. Am I wrong? Am I right? The last time I checked, citizen's arrest was completely legal. A citizen can arrest anybody. It is called a citizen arrest, handing them over to the police. That is in law, and nothing is wrong with a citizen arrest. So, in the bid of accosting this man, and he was trying to evade the businessmen, they fired 2 warning shots. We know that warning shots are not supposed to be fired. We are firemarks, so yes, warning shots are not supposed to be fired. But as a police officer, I have fired warning shot before. Because sometimes it's better to fire a warning shot than shoot somebody. It's better to fire a warning shot sometimes than shoot somebody. I've seen suspects before and they're behaving suspiciously and jump out of cars and hold on to their waist, and I fired 2 warning shots in the air. And next thing you know, they started firing at me. So sometimes warning shots are very effective. So the lawmakers who talk about no warning shot never knew what they were talking about. Because warning shots, trust me, even though it is said to be a breach, but trust me, it works. So these men fired 2 warning shots. One of the men fired 2 warning shots. And the suspect went down on the ground and held his hand up, and he was accosted. No. Good work, right? I would say good work. Great work. These men are heroes. So when the man was accosted, the police finally came a few minutes later. And they reported to the police, who came on the scene, that listen, this man is wanted by the Hertfordshire police station for selling us a stolen motor vehicle, and there's a warrant for his arrest. And we informed control that we saw the man was trying to, they explained the situation to the police on the scene. Police said, okay. Everybody went to the Spanish Town police station. the suspect was brought to the station, and the men went to the police station also, because you know that now that they've accosted the man, they were following up to see what was going to take place, because the man was supposed to be handed over to the Halfway Tree police station where the warrant would be executed on him. So as far as these men concerned, this job was a great job. It was self-fulfillment, knowing that they had captured the man who sold him a stolen car all by themselves without the police, because it would appear as if the police was not doing enough. And they were looking for this man themselves, because, trust me, people need back their money. Anyway, one of the men I know called me and said, you know what, we accosted this man who had sold us this story, because I was aware of the situation. So they told me they were at the Spanish Town police station. So I said, you know, I'm going to come down there. By the time I got to the Spanish Town police station, my friends, let me tell you, what transpired when I got to the Spanish Town police station was, I was in shock. And I could not believe what was happening to these good law-abiding citizens. And that's the reason why from that happened, I was so pissed off about the situation. I'm still pissed off about the situation up until now. And it comes all the way back down to a policeman who has no knowledge of his profession, who's a danger to himself and the organization. And a danger to the citizens of Jamaica, the good law-abiding citizens of Jamaica. Now, here are men who did a citizen's arrest, a good arrest for a man who was wanted by the police. And by the time I got to the Spanish Town police station, the detective, a young detective, was spearheading the case. Remember, it's not a Spanish Town case, it's a Halfway Tree case. So what should have been done is the man supposed to be handed over to Halfway Tree police station. They should have contacted the Halfway Tree, and then the police from Halfway Tree would have come for the man, or the Spanish Town police would have transported the man, the suspect, to the Halfway Tree police station. Because as far as I'm concerned, he's no longer a suspect, because there's a warrant out for his arrest. So he's arrested, but not charged yet. But when I saw the men, and I spoke to the men, there was a turn of events. Because here is it now that the detective is charging the licensed firearm users, the businessmen who have accosted this man for shooting with intent, discharging firearm in a public place, assault, and you name it. So I said to the detective, bro, what are you doing? These men did a citizen arrest. They are heroes. This is wrong. This is wrongful arrest. Why are you charging the men for discharging firearm in a public place? Oh, because they fired warning shots. I said, bro, we have to learn to understand the whole event that took place and how the arrest was made. These men are heroes. What are you doing? And he got upset with me, and then he was saying that he was working off his instruction of the senior superintendent. Now, when he told me what the superintendent name was, what Paul Thompson, I said to myself, I need to call Paul Thompson, because the Paul Thompson I know is a well-rounded detective, and he would have never ordered such an arrest, because it is plain stupidity. It is wrong. But then I get to find out it's not the Paul Thompson that was stationed at Hunts Bay, but rather it was a different Paul Thompson. Because I know the Paul Thompson who was stationed at Hunts Bay is a very intelligent and professional and knowledgeable detective who would have never ordered such an arrest. But anyway, it played out. I was telling the police that, listen, what you're doing is wrong. And he got upset and said, they jumped on the other side talking about they want to charge me for obstructing police in the line of their duty. I said, obstructing for doing what? Obstructing for advising you that what you're doing is wrong? So, he did not follow what I said to him. He felt that what he was doing was right. And all he was concerned about was the criminal, the car thief, who he was concerned about. Talking about the man was assaulted, and talking about the man was beaten, and the man was this, and the man was that. That is all he was concerned. So I said, what about I said to him, this man is wanted on a warrant by the Halfway Tree police station, and what are you doing? The next thing I know, the Halfway Tree police came for the suspect and brought him to Halfway Tree, and he charged the 3 businessmen for the offenses that I spoke to you about. Assault, illegal possession of firearm, discharging firearm in a public place. One bag of thing him charging man for. And have the businessmen in custody for over 6 days. No. I contacted one of the businessmen afterwards and I said to him, listen, have you spoken to your attorney yet? He said, yes. I said, remember, let me speak to your attorney. And we had a conversation with his attorney and what would happen when they go to court. Let me tell you something, people. When the matter was brought before the court and the judge called up the matter and the lawyer explained what happened to the court, you know what the judge remarks was? The judge remarks what but the detective was not even in court because he knew that what he did was wrong. But then again, let me explain something to you. And this is the worst part of it. This is the worst part of it. He's going to tell the men that they are mean. So if he's going to say that the men are mean, that means he wanted money for them not to be charged. And it would appear as if they were not playing ball. They were not going to give him any money not to charge him. So he charged the men, which was which was an unlawful arrest in my book. And you know what? The worst thing about it, I spoke to the men and I said, you need to sue him. And they were saying, no, they don't want to do that because, you know, they don't want the police hate them and this and that. And people, you must not be scared. When police treat you like that, you need to take action against them. Because like it said, a policeman who has no knowledge of his profession is a danger to himself and the organization. So let's get back to court. It was an embarrassment on the Jamaica Constabulary Force in court. Because guess what? I went to court because I went to court with the men as a support to stand in court to really see what would happen in court because I know what would have happened in court. I knew that the judge would have thrown that matter out of court, but because it is a wrongful arrest. And so said, so done. The judge threw the matter out of court. The judge's remarks were that these men are heroes. Why are these men charged? Why are these men before the court? Where is the accused man? Where is the man that they held, the man that a warrant was issued for? And the judge was told that he's in half-a-tree, Your Honor, charged for the stolen car that he has sold these men, and the car that he was also driving at the time was also stolen. So now these men have not even captured a wanted man and warrant who sold him a stolen car, but also recovered another car that was stolen. Somebody's car. And this idiot detective charged these men, have them slept in jail for 7 days, brought them before the court and let them pay a lawyer fee and all that thing. Stupidity. For not knowing his profession. And I've spoken to these men, though, you need to tell your story. They don't want to show their faces. They don't want to talk the story because, you know, they are scared. But I'm not scared of anybody because, trust me, that was wrongful arrest. And the judge threw the matter out, and it was an embarrassment on the Jamaica Constabulary Force. It was an embarrassment because all police in the court was saying, what? Him really charge the man him for that? The man them lock up one boy we wanted and him charge the man them? No, people, let me tell you something. It's situations like these that get me upset. It's situations like these why sometimes I never feel good being a policeman. The embarrassment. The embarrassment. So you are telling good law-abiding citizens, when he did that arrest, you're telling good law-abiding citizens that they cannot exercise their civic duty. They cannot exercise their rights as a citizen of Jamaica of a citizen's arrest. That is what you're saying. So you're telling these men that next time, if this happens and you see that man, you're supposed to leave him alone because you're not a police officer. Rude boy. It is called citizen's arrest. And any lawful citizen, any policeman who's listening to this, any police officer, any knowledgeable police officer who's listening to this video, is watching this video now, and any civilian that is watching this video now, you must have heard about lawful citizen's arrest, because it exists. You can arrest a man who's known to be wanted by the police and hand this man over to the police to be charged. And you in turn might have to come to court to give evidence about the apprehension of this man. What should have happened in this case is the man should have been transferred to the Halfway Tree police station. No charges should have been brought against these men. The man should have brought to the Halfway Tree police station where he should be charged. And a further statement collected from these civilians outlining the nature of how the suspect was accosted. That's why I'm saying, people, some of us as police officers, we do not know how to do our jobs. We have no knowledge of our profession, yet we walk around with our head high. If somebody asks us, where is Scotiabank downtown, you patrol downtown, you can't even find it. You're an embarrassment to the Jamaica Constabulary Force. You have no knowledge of your profession, and you have no knowledge of your community. That is the first thing people are going to say. And what I was so upset about was like a senior officer instructed him to charge these men, Paul Thompson. I'm saying this Paul Thompson must be a fake, because the real Paul Thompson I know would have never made a mistake like that. And you have this policeman has let 3 businessmen, 3 law-abiding licensed firearm holders, law-abiding citizens slept in jail with common boy, with common criminals, for 7 days for doing their civic duty, for doing what they're supposed to do as citizens, for doing what we as good police officers would require of these men. Because I believe that any licensed firearm holder in Jamaica, once you have a licensed gun, you should assist the police once the time comes up. That's the reason why, you know, when I keep friends, I don't keep anybody as friends. Because if I keep you as a friend and you have a licensed firearm holder, if me and you go up on the street and gunshot a beat me, I expect you to beat gunshot too. If something happens and me if I can arrest, I am expecting you to assist me too. Plain and straight. I'm not going to par with you. I'll go anywhere with you if you have a licensed firearm and you don't want to use it. No. Because I'm not afraid to use my firearm. I've never been scared of Indicom, nor Jamaica for Justice. Never. Once I'm doing my job legally, lawfully. Once I'm defending my life as a policeman. The boss my gun wants me to defend my life. I am not afraid to fire my weapon because I am defending my life. That's all I'm saying to you. So people, I just had to tell this story because these men are afraid to tell their story, and they are afraid. They're even afraid to sue the Attorney General because they are scared of the police. They're saying that they don't want to do this because they're scared of the police. You know. But if this happened to you, sue the Attorney General, man. When police mess up like that, they need to pay the consequences. Because it's not excusable. Wrongful arrest is never excusable. Because we as police officers, we are never above the law. And when we are carrying out our duty, we have to be careful that we have to know, we have to be knowledgeable of whatever we are doing, whatever charge we are laying against people, we have to be knowledgeable. You know, I had a case one time where I held 3 men with a firearm. You know, technically you can't hold 3 men with a gun. Almost 1. But I stopped and searched 3 men, and they were all traveling together. And a firearm was recovered from the waist of one of the men. Just 1. So I arrested and charged him for the illegal possession of firearm because I only deal with constructive possession. That's the type of detective I was. And I can remember the superintendent at the station was saying to me, charge all 3, give them a run for them. I said, no, I'm only going to charge the person who I held with the firearm. And when I went to court, the defense counsel was asking why I did not charge all 3 men. I said, no, it would be wrongful arrest. He agreed. I only charge the person who I held with the firearm, nobody else. Because I have knowledge of my profession, I would never charge the other 2 men. That would be wrongful arrest. What are you going to prove? Knowledge? You cannot prove position by proving knowledge either. Because you cannot prove knowledge. They could be walking together and the other 2 men did not know that he had a firearm in his waist. That is all I'm saying. And when you charge somebody for those things, you're opening yourself to lawsuit. You're opening yourself for questions to be asked. How did you know that these men knew? Nobody now have to ask me that as a detective. Me charge who I found with the firearm, for the firearm, nobody else. And end of story. So this policeman in this case blundered. And he did not even come to court. See, that's the thing about it, you know. He did not even come to court. I doubt if he had a statement on the file. Because what was he going to write about? Talking about the men are mean. Mean how? Because you wanted the men to pay you for you not to charge them? You are a criminal. And I've said before, you know, on this channel I don't support no corruption and I don't support no police who involved in corruption. I don't support terrorists. I don't like criminals. If you are a criminal, then you are on the other side of the world to me. You are the enemy. And Jamaica, between police and gunmen, we all know that there's a war going on. Between police and the legal citizens, the lawful citizens of Jamaica, there's a war going on. Because they don't care about the lawful citizens of Jamaica going about their lawful business. These men just shoot wantonly. They don't care. They have a shootout anywhere. Don't care who's behind the target. They don't care who get hit during a shootout. They don't care. All they know that they're exacting revenge, or they're exacting their gang activities. That's all they need to know. And I am glad that the fines for guns are up by 15 years in prison. But like I've always said, Mr. Prime Minister, you have said that. Yes, I'm glad for the move. But at the same time, how much people will be sent to prison for 15 years? Because I know, by experience, that the only persons who goes to prison for any offense, the full penalty for any offense, is a person who does not have any link. And most of these men who are pushing guns and gangsters and are involved in organized crime, they have the backing of somebody who has money. And that person who has money always have link for some politician or some senior officer in the Jamaica Constabulary Force. We all know that. So once a phone call is made to the judge, phone call is made, trust me, you might have a suspended sentence. Because a suspended sentence can always be imposed when a social inquiry is carried out of a suspect in his community, like who he was, whatever person he was, and if there's no police is coming forward, so this boy, a raw criminal, this boy a troublemaker, and the social report is that he's a well-behaving boy, and most of the time, even when they are not, the social inquiry will come back like that to say he's well-behaving, and this was just a mistake. Then the judge can always say, you know what, 5 years suspended, pay 150,000, pay 200,000, or pay nothing, just 5 years suspended. So if during the 5 years you commit yourself again, then you will get the full time. That always exists. Now, if the Prime Minister is going to say 15 years, then what I need to understand, it must say, with nothing, not even social inquiry must come between the conviction. It must not be said, oh, you're a good boy. You know what I mean? And then your thing is reduced. It must not be said, oh, because you plead guilty. Because that is in most cases what what you need to understand, you know. If a man says he's guilty, he doesn't waste the court time. He goes before the court, and the first time before the court, his attorney said, guilty, Your Honor. No. When the attorney does not waste the court time, the accused does not waste the time of the court. No, the ball is in the court of the attorney to ask for leniency as it relates to the 15 years. I'm telling you that. So we have to take that into consideration. If the man pleads guilty, then the attorney is going to ask for this. And then it's all up to the judge to determine if he gets the the maximum penalty or less. Based off of social inquiries, you have a whole lot of mitigating issues surrounding the thing. So you can't just say 15 years and bust out and glad say, yo, hey, once a man held with a gun, he might get 15 years. No, it is not based off just being held with a gun. It's all based off the links we have, it's all based off the social inquiry, it's all based off the plea and what the attorney can do to ask for his sentence to be reduced. I will discuss that in another thing. But what I was talking about mainly now is a citizen of Jamaica respecting their civic duties in Jamaica carried out a citizen's arrest, which is perfectly legal. And they used the force that was necessary in apprehending the suspect. Yet, they were arrested and charged and thrown in jail for how much days? Firearm taken away. No, what are you telling, as a policeman, when you do this, what are you telling the other citizens in Jamaica? What are you telling the other licensed firearm holders in Jamaica? That they are not supposed to assist the police? That they cannot exercise their civic duty? That they cannot do a citizen arrest? No, man, that is not the message that we need to send as police officers. That's why we need to be knowledgeable of our profession. And we have to be lenient at times too. Because leniency counts at times. We have to be knowledgeable and we have to approach every situation with tact. Because if you arrest a man for something, that can lead to something better, you know. if you know what to do as a detective, you know. I recover one gun from a man already, find a gun in a man's waist, and based off talking to him and chatting to him and deal with certain things, I was able to find 2 more guns. You understand? Because the owners, you always want to take more guns off the street, you know. It's the guns I want off the street, you know. So as a policeman, as a detective, you have to learn. You have to learn to operate on your own. And you have to learn that when a senior officer said to you, do this, you can't say, no, boss, I'm not going to do this because this is wrong. You understand what I said to you? When a senior officer said, do this, you ever say, no, boss, that is wrongful arrest. This is wrong. And you stick by your thing. You understand me? Because when I arrested those 3 men, if I had followed that senior officer, to charge all 3 men, it would have created a problem with my case. I would have gone before the court and it would have caused problem. Because you can't file, you have to charge 3 men for 1 gun. It's not an easy conviction to charge 3 persons for 1 gun, unless you judge up on your side as a policeman. You have to know you do that. You understand? So charging 1 man, the man that was held in position, is the only man supposed to be charged. And when that senior officer said, Blake, charge all 3 of them. And I said, no. You see, I'm a detective. Nobody is supposed to give me instructions how to do my case as a detective. And that's it. That was the thing about this police officer in this case. Because he allowed the senior officer to instruct him on what to do when he was on the ground. He should have reported to the officer, listen, this is what is happening and this is what I am going to do. No senior officer can ever instruct me to do the wrong thing. Or if act like me stupid, act like I don't have any sense as a detective. Because if a senior officer have to tell you as a detective how to carry out a case, then you're not a detective, then you need to go back in a uniform. Plain and straight. Or you need to stop serve the people of Jamaica because you have no knowledge of your profession. And all that police officer did, that detective did in this case, was embarrass the Jamaica Constabulary Force. And a senior officer who instructed him to charge his men caused the embarrassment. That's all I'm saying to you. I'm still upset about the whole situation. And then for me to tell him that this is wrong, what you're doing, you're going to talk about charging me for obstructing police, charge for getting involved in your investigation, for telling you the right thing to do. I say what you're doing is wrong. That is how some police are. They have no knowledge of the profession. They do stupid things. So big up to those licensed firearm holders, and I hope there are more licensed firearm holders like that in Jamaica still, who are willing to exercise their civic duty, lock up people and hold them till police come. Because crime is so rampant in Jamaica, we need all the help that we can get as police officers. Police need all the help, and we need every citizen in Jamaica, especially licensed firearms, to get involved in everything. We need community programs, then we need a community watch program where people get involved and accost people, arrest people who are thief in their neighborhood. When I was living in Portmore, I had a little crew where we patrol every night. And you know how much car thieves we catch? Trust me. As a policeman in a community, you have to be active in the community. You have to lead the community. You have to set up the community neighborhood watch program. People have to set up at night time. If car are being stolen on a regular basis, then the police, whoever police lives in the area, has to do that and work with the citizens to do that. A citizen's arrest is never wrong. It is always right. It is in the books. So these men did nothing wrong, but this police chose to arrest them for doing their for exercising their civic duty, for doing the right thing. That is all I'm saying to you. Remember, if you have not yet, subscribe to my channel. Subscribe. A new year is coming. We have more stories. We have everything will happen greater in the new year. And if you notice, I say we, because this channel is never about me. It's about all of us, the subscribers. We are a part of this channel together. We are a part of a movement that's trying to make Jamaica a better place. We are part of a movement that are trying to improve the quality of security in Jamaica. We are part of a movement that would love to see crime decrease in Jamaica, and would love to see Jamaica a better place, and would love to see all the corrupted police removed from the Jamaica Constabulary Force. I would love to see All the corrupted politicians be removed from public duty. Because Jamaica does not have a crime problem, Jamaica has a corruption problem. And until we move the corrupted people from the helm or from the positions that they are in Jamaica, then Jamaica will never be a better place. Remember, subscribe, share, comment, like my video. And remember, I accept every comment, whether for or against. This is a community. This is a movement. This is in a bid to make Jamaica a better place. Respect.